Ghana is 68 years old, and it's an amazing time to be a Ghanaian. We had a very limited edition, March past or independence celebration right at the Jubilee House. And then immediately after, the president was on duty in the Volta region because of something very interesting. Apart from that, the Ghana Statistical Service brought out a report of what the import and export statistics of Ghana looks like. And it is very interesting. But before we start, as every patriotic Ghanaian needs to do, I think we need to sing the national anthem, especially if you want to live in Ghana.
Yeah.
You need to know and understand the national anthem. What do you think?
I think it's very true. Very,
Yeah.
very true. They need to know and understand. In fact, I think we should sing it for them.
Fantastic. So let's go. 1, 2. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressed with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressed with all our will and might forevermore. Congratulations to all of us. Ghana is 68, almost 70 years. Now comment and let me know if you know the national anthem from memory. Now we also have someone who has joined the live interactive session. Richie Rich, are you a Ghanaian? Can you sing the national anthem?
Hello? Some Ghanaian boss.
Fantastic. It's good to know that Richie Rich is a Ghanaian and can sing the national anthem, though he didn't answer that part. Perfect, Miles. You are welcome to today's live, interactive video. We are looking at Ghana at 68, what it means for us as Ghanaians, and some shocking things that happened in Ghana immediately after the march passed. And let's move straight to the topic of the day,
Before we even move, right, if they can sing the national anthem correctly, right, they should let us know. Because I remember growing up, there were lines in the national anthem that my friends couldn't sing, and I bet you are one of them, right? So if you can, let us know. But let's proceed.
Fantastic. So we are going to look at the topic of the day, which is a flood issue that happened in the course of last week. And the president, immediately after kind of chairing the march past at the Jubilee House, had to straight go to the Volta region. But before that, there's some trending news that came out from the Ghana Statistical Service, which says used vehicles, animal guts among Ghana's top 10 imports in 2024.
Wow.
That is just crazy. And so if we go into the details, right, of the top 10 imports, it says 1, diesel, automotive gas oil, AGO for toll, 28.93 billion, which represents 11.6% of, the total imports that we did last year. Then we have light oils, motor spirits, and super, 24.12 billion, which represents 9.6%. And guess what the third is? Self-propelled bulldozers with 360-degree revolving superstructure.
I can't even describe it off the top of my head. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, so those self-propelled, devices, anyone can hazard a guess. Those are typically the things we are seeing at the Galamsey sites. And if that is going to be
part of
like the top three,
that's number 3 on the list.
That is just crazy. And the total value of that is 6.2 billion Ghana cedis. So it's like we are importing things that are going to destroy us as a country. Then guess the fourth one. The fourth one is cement clinker. And again, that is where we as Africa Building Hub, we are really concerned about, right? Because clinker is the raw material that is used in the production of cement. And we imported 4.83 billion Ghana cedis worth of clinker, which represents 1.9% of the total import in the year 2024. That is crazy. Almost 2% of everything we imported has to do with the building and construction industry. And that shows the demand and increase in demand for building construction.
Yeah.
Last year again was like an election year. And if you watched our videos from like the last 6 months of the year, we kept stressing on the fact that during election years, there's a lot of infrastructure projects that go on because the governments of the day would want to construct roads, highways, interchanges, you know, hospitals, schools, and things like that to be able to add it as part of their legacy when they are leaving government. And so that is obviously what we saw as 4.83%, 4.383 billion cedis worth of imports. Then can you guess the fifth one?
Say car.
Yes, used vehicles.
Not fresh.
No, not fresh. It's a sad state we find ourselves in this country. How many people can afford?
When they say used vehicles, I'm guessing what 10 years ago, cars that were made 2000.
Well, so the only category that they gave was the 1500 cc to the 3000 cc, right? So what we'll typically refer to as like 1.5 liter and 3 up to the 3. So like maybe a Ford Escape, a Toyota, a Camry, a Toyota Corolla, those kind of cars.
Economy efficient cars.
Exactly.
I also says a lot too.
Yes, it says a lot. And it's not even brand new, right? These are used vehicles. It's sad. Like I can't imagine the number of Ghanaians who can afford brand new cars. Recently, I was watching a comparison video of Ghana versus, no, it was Nigeria versus Dubai, right? The cost of cars. And the cost of cars in Nigeria were sometimes almost 10 times the cost of the same car, same year model, brand new in Dubai.
And they're going to tell you that is what the shipping and taxes and those things that make the price go up.
Exactly. And the thing is, in Ghana, the cost of duties from our past videos last week and last 2 weeks is one of the highest we have in the sub-region, right? So you can imagine, I've been trying to buy a new car for a while, but the prices on the market can build like 2 houses for just an SUV that I want to drive, because currently where I live, the roads are terrible, and I want a car with a very good suspension, and you know, it has like a high ground clearance and all that. The prices are just crazy. At this point, I don't know if anyone on our live interactive session, Perfect Miles or Richie Rich, has anything to say concerning the top 5 imports we've spoken about: diesel, light oils, motor spirits. Some of these things are also used to power the, you know, the galamsey, exactly, devices, then cement, clinker, and used vehicles. So if you have anything to say, those on the live chat, kindly raise your hand and then we'll call you to share your thoughts on the topic. So you can just raise your hand and then contribute. If not, we will proceed with the topic. Richie Rich, do you have anything to say concerning this?
No, boss. Let's proceed on.
Okay, Perfect Miles, do you have anything to say on this so far?
Maybe along the line, whatever comes up and I have an idea to contribute, I will.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, if you're enjoying this content, kindly like, share, and subscribe so that more people can see this. It tells YouTube that this content is good and it's worth sharing. So back to the topic of the day. In the 6th thing, there's a reason why we are going through the top 10 imports here, because it's going to feed into the rest of the discussion that we are having so far. The 6th thing is cereal grains. Cereal grains. So like oats and wheat and things like that.
No, is it conflicts or what?
Conflicts, all these things.
Conflicts is part of the things we imported.
I'm telling you. And then sit item. So, you know, children have these things that they eat. What's it called?
What? SMA? Or...
No, the thing that they mix with hot water that some adults also like to eat.
Cerelac.
Cerelac.
Yeah.
Cerelac.
So it was part of the top 10 imported
Exactly. Then
in
we have
2024.
petroleum oils and oils obtained from bituminous minerals or crude, 3.34.
I'm wondering how that is even number 7 and Cerelac is number 6.
I'm telling you.
But you
There's something that I'm coming to which is just crazy. Now, number 8 is medium oil, so kerosene type, jet fuel, that is 1.3%. Number 9, gut, bladders, and stomachs of animals, excluding fish.
What were we importing that for?
Look, I have no idea, but I have a daughter who is in second cycle, and she's in first year. And she told me that the food that they feed them a lot is jollof and yemuadia. Now, yemuadia, for those who don't know, is the guts, the bladders, the intestines of animals. Can you imagine? How can you eat jollof with yemuadia? Like, I've been thinking about it, and
there
it
are
doesn't
not
make
enough animals in Ghana that you can get them from.
I really don't know, but it looks like there's a very high demand. For me, it's something I also enjoy. I said delicacy
Yeah,
for me.
with fufu, yeah, I guess it's nice, right? But then again, I never expected it to be part of like top 10 imports for a country.
Yeah.
But it is.
It just tells us a lot, right?
And we're
It tells
eating
us
fufu and
a
things
lot.
though.
And then again, we also have herbicides, anti-sprouting products, and plant growth
For the
regulators.
Greek people, I guess.
Exactly.
How
But
is agri
again,
number
we
10?
need to be concerned, right? Because it's like a lot of things that we are importing into the country in the end are harming us, right? It's not like herbicides are bad, but it will definitely affect the quality of food that we are going to eat and stuff. I remember for me when I moved to this house, and then I tried to, there were a lot of bushes and weeds in the area, right? So I bought some herbicides initially and sprayed the place. Now, after it was done, even like 6 months down the line, when plants are growing, you notice that the colors are not a very healthy color, right? Because the chemicals have seeped into the air, right? And it's, though you think it's rain for a period of 6 months, and you're expecting that at this period, the chemicals should have been washed away. No. Even the bushes which are growing, you can see the base is not like a very healthy green color. So if this is what we are importing a lot for the production of our food, I think we need to be concerned. And I think that is one of the reasons why we are stressing, especially in this month of independence, this month of March, that everybody, if you have a land, right, you need to consider having at least a garden in your home. Because recently there was a news article that we saw where it was stated that, you know, the market women are selling rotten tomatoes to the restaurants, and they are selling it to them at a way cheaper price. And the implication of this is, if you are someone who buys food, maybe you go to work, you buy food, you order lunch and all that, there's a very high probability that you are getting your food with rotten tomatoes. And this evening, we were talking to one medical doctor, friend of ours, and she was saying that from their research, this is a very dangerous practice where this can even result in cancer and all these things. And it tells in some of the things that we are seeing, like the sicknesses and diseases.
She even mentioned that even if you boil it, no matter how many times you boil it, it still doesn't even go out. So then,
it's a very scary situation. So I'm going to advise everybody, right, that as much as possible, you probably want to have organic food at home. I have a neighbor, right, who has cassava, has plantain, has mango, has pear, has peppers, has okra, has tomatoes, has almost everything
that you need,
right? Bananas and everything. And he told me that for like the past 5 years, cassava, he's never bought cassava.
Yeah, because if he has it in his house,
he's never bought plantain. Even the onions and things, he's able to grow enough to go and sell it in the market.
Wow.
I'm telling you, he has almost everything that he needs to eat. If he's just going to be eating fufu or cassava or plantain leaves,
fufu is a fantastic
almost
food to
everything.
eat.
And the shocking thing was, where I live is a very mountainous area, right? And a very hilly area. So that's what we are showing on the screens currently. And you'd expect that a place like this is going to be almost impossible to say that
you don't have fertile land and things.
exactly fertile land, because his land itself is also very rocky.
Just okay.
But cassava is able to grow well, plantains are growing well. And in fact, a lot of my neighbors have a minimum plantain, coconut, cassava, a lot of people on the street.
Wow.
And so he gave me some of these cassava sticks to also come and plant. And again, I want to
Giving
encourage.
you have a good neighbor.
Yeah, I really want to
neighbor.
encourage everybody who is watching this live that Ghana at 68, we need to be able to move away from importation of some of these things. Now, the reason why this again is very important is Burkina Faso recently banned the exports of the things that we were exporting or importing from them.
Okay.
Right? You know, we import a lot of onions, a lot of tomatoes from Burkina Faso. And now that they are banning it, it means that Ghana, we need to realign our mindset, our strategies when it comes to agriculture.
Okay.
And again, we are putting it to the new Minister of Agri. We are here, we are putting things to the new governments, right? You need to be up and doing.
Okay.
All of us have a role to play, but then we need to be serious about our food, else we are going to find ourselves in a very serious food crisis.
Yeah.
And I know this is Africa building, how people would expect us to just be talking about construction and building and stuff. But if we don't even have food to eat, then how are we going to survive? Again, those on the live interactive session, if you want to join the live, you want to share your thoughts, just raise your hand and we are going to call you. So just let us know, right? If you want to join, just raise your hand. Yeah.
So for Burkina Faso, they said the main things that they even banned was maize, millets, rice, sorghum, and white beans. Those are the things that they banned, and they extended it in last November 2024. That was last year. Yeah. Interesting.
So we have a very serious, food crisis on our hands, and we need to be able to fix it urgently.
No, as a young person, right? It makes me wonder what I'm going to come and meet. Because if, as of now, right, this is what is happening. When we also get to where you guys are, what will be left for us?
Yeah.
And unless maybe I'm overthinking it, but then where's will be importing what snail, and
it's a very serious situation that we find ourselves in, and I think that we all need to be making a lot of noise about it. A lot of noise about it. Yeah. Now, even what scares me more, right, is the fact that right after the Independence Day celebration, the president of Ghana had to travel to the Volta region. Now, let's see the reason why he moved to the Volta region. There was a flash flood or tidal wave in a place called Agaveji in the Volta region. Now, if this was just the first time that this is happening, I wouldn't have an issue.
Yeah.
Right? But this is not the first time that this is happening. There's a whole history, and that's what we are showing on our screens currently. In November 2021, tidal waves devastated the place and surrounding areas, destroying homes and displacing numerous residents, leaving communities struggling to recover. Now, in April 4th, 2022, so barely 6 months after that, another tidal wave event led to the destruction of 51 houses, displacing over 300 individuals. The sea also encroached upon the community cemetery, affecting 63 tombs. This is crazy, yeah? It's not just the people who are alive who are suffering, but the dead who need to stay dead and just rest in peace cannot rest in peace. I don't know if the place is cursed or something, but it's a serious concern to me, right? Where you can have a tidal wave occur in November 2021, barely 6 months after, it comes and destroys over 50 homes, individuals, families are displaced, and goes to ransack a cemetery. No, you're laughing, but the thing is, it's a very serious
it's not supposed to be funny, but then again, it didn't just affect the people, it went to the tombs. So it affects everybody, dead or alive.
Yeah, and that's why we need to take these things very seriously. Now, apart from that, right?
Yeah.
November 2023.
Next
so
year.
November 2021, it happened. November 2023,
It happened again.
72 households were destroyed by tidal waves over there.
Well, where at all did they
displacing
build
many
these
families.
houses?
Come again?
Where at all did they build these houses?
Yeah. It means no. I think, nowadays, I think it's a good point you are raising. Right?
Yeah.
Many people want to have like beachfront
I
property.
mean, why not? Why not have a beachfront property?
Yeah.
But at what, where is a good question, right? If you're going to have a beachfront property, you dare ask them what happened last year,
Yeah.
so that because there are nice ones in Pram and things.
Yeah, so the trend now is a lot of people, especially you guys in the diaspora, you like buying beachfront properties,
Yeah.
properties at down and things like that, and they become so
glass.
expensive. Someone sent me some lands at Akosombo, right by the lake,
Okay.
and said it was selling from $100,000 to about $300,000. The land alone, no house on it. Why would it sell for this much? It's because there's so much demand for
Yeah.
beachfront properties. And if you go to Ada, right, you are on the jet ski. There's like a whole lane right in front of the river or wherever.
It's a beautiful experience.
I hear the celebrities, the footballers, they bought it. The houses are like mega townhouses.
There are so many posh houses even on the island itself where the residents have like their own jet skis. Like it's like neighbors.
Yeah,
and
really they
nice
have
houses.
infinity pools and all these things. And I know a lot of people within our WhatsApp community also would like those kind of things. So if you want to join the community, we are sharing the QR code on the chat right now. Join the community. The link to actually join the live interactive session is also on the community. So if you want to join, that is it. Just scan the code and join. Again, if you are enjoying this live, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And let us know, question of the day, would you want a beachfront apartment? Would you want a beachfront apartment? And again, would you also want to do all the things that we are talking about? Where are you watching from? Comment and let us know. But would you want a beachfront apartment, a lakefront apartment, a riverside apartment? Would you pay a premium for it? Why would you also want to do that?
Let me even start answering the question. Let me be the first to answer that question.
Okay.
I remember when I went to Ada, right? And we were also on the island, right? And you wake up in the morning, the sea has come from small, it's on your land, like it feels so relaxing, it's quiet. Yes, I would want to have something like that. Look, the feeling was different, right? It wasn't like Accra. It was if you were going to, let's say, your neighbor or something, you ride on your jet ski, you go to your neighbor. Like, you're not feeling like you're in Ghana. It wasn't a Ghanaian experience, not at all. But yes, I would want to. Why? Because, then again, if I had so much money and I really was working from home and I was like, I wanted to be far away from the city, a place where I could like have my peace of mind, I'd be happy to go there, right? Then again, there were places like Treasure Island and some other places around there that you could go for like leisure, see. I mean, you see them every day, but then you also get to like, there are people of like your class and caliber, right? Networking for business and things. Yeah. If I would, I mean, me personally, what about you? Would you want something like that?
Yeah, for me, I prefer to rather have a land on a hill.
Yeah.
I can get good views instead of going to a beachfront, something where tomorrow anything happens and then I'm at risk of losing my land and all those things. Yeah, so for me that's why I prefer. It's nice too.
The
but
aesthetic is.
I have a land at Pram,
okay.
but it's not right by the sea. It's like maybe 200, 300 meters away. So if the thing is coming, cry, yes, but I get it. So keep commenting what you'd prefer. Would you prefer to have a beachfront apartment or not? Okay, now let's go back to the topic of the day, because the strange thing is, after November 2023, just last month, the ending of last month, they had another tidal wave and it destroyed so much property.
Yeah.
Right now, this is very concerning because apart from this tidal wave incident, whole or the Volta region is a place that for me, I have promoted a lot on this platform. I have said several times that it's a place I would like to go and live for many, many reasons.
Yeah.
And even someone joined our WhatsApp community and said the way I promoted the place, they want to go and get land over there and all that. Nobody is paying me to do that, but I've been to those places and I feel the place is really clean.
Yeah,
Like, I was
yeah.
listening to City FM.
Oh, it's clear because people don't go there. That's why.
I was listening to City FM and they have this caravan,
Okay.
right? They have this caravan that they kind of travel around, Ghana every month of March.
Oh, okay.
And they said a lot of people actually travel from the diaspora to participate in the caravan.
Wow.
And when they got to the Volta region, they thought they were in a different country because the place was so clean, so
Proud of
neat.
where I
and
come
all
from.
that. So for me, there are lots of hills, waterfalls,
Yeah.
and lots of natural.
Volta region has everything.
Yeah, Volta region almost has everything, right?
Not
So
almost, we have everything.
you don't have a working international.
We have a working international. We are very soon. Relax, man. When we get there, we will cross.
Okay, so all these things are part of the reasons, but again, the Volta region, in my opinion, has been one of the regions that has suffered a lot when it comes to lack of proper infrastructure development and then these kinds of flooding thing, right? So let's look at some of the cost of the major floods that we've experienced recently, especially for people who want to come and build and live in Ghana and all that, right? The first one is the Akosombo Dam spillage, which happened like 2023 to 2024, right? It happened November 2023, and like thousands of people were displaced.
That was a whole.
It was terrible. We spent 220 million cedis as a country to kind of rehabilitate the people, and that's crazy. I know a lot of NGOs came in, a lot of individuals did a lot of contributions and all that. But we are losing a lot of money in this country.
That money could go into fix the roads in my area. Let me look somewhere else and see.
and the reason why this is important to me is I think the president of Ghana said the reason why this year we didn't have this whole march past at the Independence Square was so that we could save money.
Yeah, to save money.
And I think they said the cost savings was 9 or 19 million cedis.
Well, which is good.
By not doing it, which is good.
Yeah.
But if we are going to be spending so much money to rehabilitate
the country,
places affected by floods year after year, it's like we are not learning the lessons from the past.
And I don't think it's like we are not learning the lessons from the past. I think some people are just maybe unfortunate. Something just happened, right? I don't know if they're making preventive measures towards, but even though we'll come to that, I don't know if they're making preventive measures towards that, but it just feels as if like it becomes a pattern. It's not like they're not learning. It's like maybe they move back and they see we come forward again, right? So I don't know. It has to be steadied. It has to really be steadied.
So let's move on. Another major one is the Accra floods, right? In 2018, there was massive flood that hit Accra, and we needed about $40 million to be able to put into prevention methods for Accra. And I think in the year 2022 or 2023, I did a video on places you should not buy land in, or if you are going to buy land in Accra, you need to do like extra due diligence because those places kind of have, are very prone to flooding and all that, So yeah, Akosia, you are welcome. We can see your camera, so maybe you can turn off your camera. And then again, if you want to contribute to the discussion, you can just raise your hand. So do you want to contribute to the discussion? I don't know if you've been following the YouTube live. Today we are talking about Ghana at 68, why this is one of the most important years for Ghana, the lessons that we are learning. We've spoken first about the mega importations that we are doing in this country, top 10 imports. And then we're also looking at the fact that the president had to run away from the Jubilee House to the Volta region to go and attend to flood victims on Independence Day. So anyone who wants to contribute to the topic, you can just raise your hand and then we'll call you and then you can share your thoughts. Akosia, do you want to share your thoughts? You can talk now.
No, I'm fine, thank you. I'm just listening. Thank you.
Well, let me.
Okay.
I think I have a question for Akosia.
Okay, ask.
Auntie Akusia, please, on our top 10 imports, right? We have animal guts, something piece from intestines,
bladders, and animal
yeah.
gut.
Does that surprise you that for a country we have that as our top 10 imports?
One of our top 10.
Whoa, I no. Why would they import so much?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we have more people who are looking at joining the interactive live session. So I'm going to let them in. Kwame Opokuado, you are welcome. Thanks for joining. I don't know if you've been following the conversation that we are having today, Ghana at 68, the implications and the lessons learned, why we are importing so many things, and also the issue of flooding that occurs in certain places in Ghana. Even during Independence Day, the president had to leave the Flagstaff House to go and visit flood victims or tidal wave victims in the Volta region. So we are looking at all these things, and that's the topic of the day. So we've spoken about the Akosombo Dam spillage. We've spoken about the cost to the nation, over 220 million cedis. We've spoken about the Accra floods from 2018, which has cost the nation 197 million. And then even in the northern region where you think, oh, this place, they hardly get rains, it's taking us about $130 million to be able to fix damages from June 2007 floods, right? With the UN and other partners providing all manner of relief support. Like, it's crazy. Now, the issue of flooding, right? As a country, I believe that as we are growing, 68, yeah, we are almost 70. And at 68, we've passed the age of retirement. We should be like statesmen. We should be like people that others will come to for consultation. Other nations should come and see, how did Ghana achieve the brilliance and the excellence and all that?
Well, you'd wish it was like that. I mean, you'd wish it was like that. But at least, I'm not shaming anybody, but the last 8 years was also like more of a stagnant phase in our lives. I won't say not 8, but maybe last 4, right? So it's like a stagnant phase. So maybe where we should have been or where we could have been, maybe not. Who knows, right?
Okay.
But we're hoping that, like you're saying, as we're about to hit 70 year, it may not be magic, but hopefully.
So for me, I'm really concerned about the fact that we keep getting these things year after year. For example, looking at the Accra floods, there was a time where one foreigner, right, said he is going to bet that the next year Ghana is going to have floods in June and July. Like a white person,
to come and bet on us that we flood.
That Accra is definitely going to flood.
Prove him right on top.
Yes, and we'll prove him right, because it's like we are not learning our lessons. We keep having these floods year in, year out. March 7, 2023, heavy rainfall resulted in severe flooding across Accra, especially near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. 2 children lost their lives, which is completely unnecessary because a building collapsed, right, in English, Amanfo, and another individual was electrocuted in Malam, right? So, you see, again, what we are talking about, you may think that, oh, today's topic is not necessarily about building and construction, but the things that we are talking about have an impact in the long term, and the kind of structures we build, where people even buy their lands, where people are building at, and it also exposes some of the quality control defects and lack of quality of building in Ghana, right?
But with your experience in traveling, right, do you see, because I see the electrocuted here, right, do you see wires in the sky in places, the most places you've been to, like outside the country? Is it how Ghana, we have like our electricity poles up there in the sky showing everywhere?
Now that you've said it, I don't really remember. Let me ask the people on the live chat as well.
Because I'm thinking about it. Like,
I don't remember seeing any kind of, maybe I was not looking out for it. Or maybe where I was major city and stuff like that. But I don't remember. Kwame, do you have any, can you tell us, I think you're in the UK or something, right? Can you tell us, do you see electricity poles all over like the way we have in Ghana?
No, not at all, not at all. But you see, I think the issue is about regulation, right? About 2 weeks ago, I don't know if any of you follow the vetting of the ministers in Ghana, and Samuel Ku, one of the vetting of the minister of local government. He asked her because he's an MP in the Kwapim North, and obviously you guys know about from a Bree upwards, it's the Kwapim Mountains and stuff, and he was concerned that when with all the kind of buildings coming up in the Bree and people building up, what is the local government going to do to stop that? Because when it rains, it comes down from the top all the way to Accra, and her answer was, oh, they have to put a bit more of a system in terms of permits, right? But that's so vague from a minister. Do you understand what I mean? And the problem is that, and I think it was mentioned earlier that the type of houses that we are building, the type of land that we are building, because everybody wants a piece of Ghana. we sell land wherever possible, right? And then people build, people don't use it right. People, you can go to, even if the building that you actually are building isn't actually going to be safe, you can see somebody in a corner somewhere in the municipal assembly and they'll give you a receipt and you go and build. Yeah, or you have to see it, but they don't actually go to site. Many of them don't go to site to go do the site inspections that you are supposed to do. So we complain in Ghana. We complain a lot about these things, but the problem is ourselves. Because someone wants orgasmic views in a breeze, so they'll go and then you know. So I mean, it's I don't know, and so look, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I feel that a lot of these problems, it will take maybe 2 generations for this to actually be resolved. It's unfortunate, but I don't see any change in the mindset of people and how to be very much environmentally thinking about our environment and the kind of buildings that we want to build. I don't know. It's just it's a very dicey one. I personally don't know the solutions to it. If I'm honest with you, I don't. Sometimes we like to look at the West. Obviously, it's a good yardstick, but they have a system. They have a system that which comes with penalties. You cannot just go and build. I mean, to even buy land here to go and build your house, crapo, you find it difficult. And the kind of, loopholes you have to go through and the permits and the forms that you have to complete and all those things, you wouldn't want to buy land to go and build anyway. So you just have to just go and buy a house or something. So it's a problem. It's a problem, and I don't know. It's going to take time. I know one of the guys mentioned about the guts, the guts of the animals. The top 10, I think the top is number 9 on the top on the list. And I was talking to a friend of mine whose mother has a cold store, and apparently majority of the cold store people actually the guts from the local animals are thrown away. People don't buy it. The cold store people don't buy it. So therefore, the ones from abroad, hence why in 2024 we imported $170 million worth of guts into Ghana. So again, it's our taste for anything foreign. Our taste anything that's foreign. And look, truth be told, this friend of mine was telling me that so much that sometimes when they get the local guts, they package it as foreign and people buy it. But if it's local, they won't buy it.
Oh,
Yes.
all right. Thank you very much, Kwame. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. We just want to quickly run through the topic, right? So again, we are talking about the fact that it keeps flooding every single year. And in June 21st, so we are even in 2023, just to give like context, in Accra, which is the most developed, Accra, which is the city or the region which has the highest population density in Ghana. And March 7th, there was heavy rainfall. Children lost their lives because building collapsed. Somebody was electrocuted. Then we go into June 21st, 2023, and then you are seeing that there's continuous heavy rains, which caused widespread flooding in the Ga South and Ga East municipalities, and approximately 50 homes were destroyed. 50 homes were destroyed. And again, it begs the question, what kind of homes are we building in this country? Right. And then again, in June 2023, at least 8 fatalities were reported across the affected regions due to drowning and related incidents. Like, why should this be happening? I know it rains and floods in other countries, but why are we having things? Now, contributing factors to flooding that we have documented as number one, the rapid urbanization, right? It has led to development in flood-prone areas. People should not buy land in certain places, but they are buying it on waterways. I remember like about 5 to 10 years ago, there was a huge case around the Wager area where people had bought and built on waterways, and the government needed to go and like demolish their buildings and everything in Ghana. We make it very political, right? You have bought land in a waterway, you have built on it, it's causing major mega flooding in the area. We need to move you, and it's become political. I just don't understand, right? We understand that everybody is trying to come to Accra, which is very wrong in the first place, right? Again, I keep saying that if we even fix just the rails, the train system, I can live in Kaswa, I can live in Koforidua, I can even live in Kumasi. And if I need to come to Accra, I can be here in an hour at most, right?
Have you been in the train before?
I've been in the train before, but that was like maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
From Dome to Accra itself, it took me less than 15 minutes to get there. Whilst if you were in a car, you probably take an hour to 2 hours, early morning, peak traffic, right? I don't get it. Every single week we come and sit here, we lament the lack of a proper railway system in Ghana. I've been to India. Like India, there are places which are like Ghana, right? Because even the West considers India like maybe a third world country, which is just good for IT and all those things. But they have trains, sky trains and all these things. Like, you have a lot of advanced infrastructure. And some of these people, we had independence around the same time that they did. And that, for me, is where my major concern is. We keep comparing Ghana to Malaysia, Singapore, and these other countries, which also got their independence around the same time that we did. And when you travel to these countries, they are light years ahead of us.
Well, like our good friend said, the way they think, the mindset of the people, right? Some people that want change and some people that want change, right? You could see that there were people who wanted change not for themselves, but for the people in themselves. Basically, them thinking about their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, right? Not trying to have to move their kids from where they are, places that their kids can feel comfortable, right? Whereas with where I live, there's this thing where they say that the current youth, our generation is to leave, our goal, right? Our number one priority is to leave Ghana, right? So that's our number one priority, to leave Ghana, go and make money in abroad and come and die and they'll bring us back to Ghana. Like how?
Yeah, really, 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 really terrible. And so, again, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I don't know if anyone on the live chat has anything to say concerning this, the lack of a railway system, why we're having some of these issues, why Accra is so overpopulated, what we can do about it. If not, we'll just move straight to the topic. So if you have anything, just raise your hand and we'll call you. Akusia Ginger, Perfect Miles, Kwame, any of you want to share anything, just raise your hand and we'll call you. If not, we'll move straight to the rest of the topic. So we've spoken about the urbanization issue, which is a major issue. Then the other one is the drainage system that we have. Oh my. The drainage system we have in Ghana is another major issue that we need to talk about it, right? Because it's like we are not making any serious efforts to fix this thing as a people. Like governments come and governments go, and it's like nobody's responsibility until there's a flood, until people die, until people drown. Then we start, hey, let's go and dredge this gutter. Let's go and dredge
I
this
remember
place.
when they were doing the gutter in my area. It was a very small gutter, right? It wasn't. I don't think it wasn't this big, right? But I remember there were about 8 V8s Land Cruiser cars that came to come and look at the gutter that they were doing on that very day. The gutter, I'm not sure the gutter is like giving from like maybe your house to like the main end of the road. No, it was just a very small stretch. And they came to park to come and view the gutter that was being done. And I'm like, oh, come on. That's small gutter.
Yeah. Now, speaking of, gutters within communities, right? Ideally, it would be good if the government is doing all these things. But sometimes you move into a developing community. Again, that's another main issue we have with Ghana as opposed to other countries you travel to, right? In other countries, when there's a land and there's supposed to be like development and settlement within that area, all the things you need for a proper community to live and thrive are built before the houses even come up.
Oh, yeah.
In Ghana, it's the complete opposite. So you go and buy bush,
Then
like
you develop.
Pabinian lands, very rocky and hilly and all that.
Maybe
Then
it's
you
the
now
part of
need to
Pabina that
start,
you live in.
clearing the place, building your thing before you consider drainage. And many a times, you, the person who is the initial mover into the place, you don't spend all your money fixing roads. You don't spend all your money doing drainage. And for even the community to even come together and say, oh, everybody should contribute $100 or $200. Let's fix the gutter so that when it rains, it has good drainage and all that. Then we can do the roads and the road don't get destroyed after 3 months of construction. Some people will tell you, they don't have cars and all these things, so they can't be bothered.
Those that don't have cars can't be bothered. So when it floods, they'll swim. When it floods, they'll swim to their house or what?
Like we have a major issue as a people, and the more I think about it, the more I get very, very frustrated because there are things that we could easily fix.
Yeah.
But we are like everybody is selfish, kind of. Everybody is thinking about their own interest, their pockets and stuff like that. And we are having these things. Obviously, poor waste management is another major issue that we need to talk about. Let's be honest with ourselves in Ghana. I saw a video. I think you shared that video, or somebody shared it in our team WhatsApp group about some guy who says he's building a house by the seaside. Now, it's not about the house that he's building. We'll find that video and present it, maybe God willing, next week. But my major concern was the fact that going to his house, which was by the seaside, the whole place was littered with filth.
Yeah.
And these are fishing communities that we get our fishes and everything from as a nation. Complete filth. We will find this video and bring it to you next week. Like, if you see where they are catching the fishes, you even eat kinky and fish in this country again. But people just don't care. People wait for it to rain and then they go and pour their garbage and things in the gutters. Like, it doesn't make sense. Especially when it also comes to like developing communities. If you build and then there are bushes around you, instead of people contacting like the waste disposal companies to come and get rid of their waste, they just pour the rubbish into the bush, which will be essentially their neighbor's plot.
And they end up burning it.
It was terrible. Right? When I came to this place, that's what they were doing in my area. I said, no, you guys can't do that. Now I've seen that there's another vacant land next to me, and they are pouring waste over there. It's just crazy. When we moved to Ashoman Estate initially too, that was the very same thing that was happening. People would just go and find a bush area and turn the whole place into a baller. Like, we have a lot of things to discuss, especially Ghana at 60. We need to change our way of life if we are going to like make any headway. Of course, climate change is there. Now, whether you believe in climate change or not, you can't ignore the fact that when we were growing up, right, in Ghana, we had dedicated periods of Hamatan and dedicated periods of rain.
Right now,
but now we don't even see Hamatan any longer. It can come just a day, and the next day torrential rains will happen and flood will occur.
No, I think it's where you live. Where you live.
Are you sure?
Because where I live, right, almost the whole of last year we didn't see rain. I was
No,
going to tell you
but
this thing.
no, though you didn't see rain, did
Yeah.
you have harmattan, dry harmattan where your heels can be cracking and stuff like
Almost
that?
every day was like a mix of harmattan and like it was just a mix of things that I have never experienced in a while. So it's hot, it gets dry, then it's still hot, but it's not dry anymore. Your throat is itching, you're not breathing, and one day it's foggy. Like it's just like it was just new things.
What you are talking about is pollution. Right? There's
Yeah,
a lot
you
of pollution in the atmosphere nowadays.
Wow.
And I
Even
think
when
last year and 2 years ago, there were like news items about the pollution index or whatever, and they said it has reached hazardous levels, right? So we need to be very concerned. But I'm just saying that growing up when I was very young, if we say harmattan, like October, November, December, January, February,
doesn't follow that
it
pattern
doesn't
anymore.
rain. It is dry. Your lips will be cracking, right? But we don't have those things again.
Did you say January?
Yeah.
Rain though. We had some
Yeah.
slight rain in
Like we
January
have
this
floods
year.
even in January and February, right? So there are lots of things that are happening that we need to really consider seriously if we want to make any progress in this country. Now, again, let's move to Akosombo Dam spillage. This dam was constructed between 1961 and 1965, but it gets to a point where the water in the dam can get so full that we have to spill. In 2023, we did that, and that was one of the major issues that a lot of people around that area, even as far as Adan and other places, Sege and all these places, suffered a lot, right? So let's look at preventive measures and recommendations as we get ready to wrap up this video.
Yeah.
Number one, when it comes to infrastructure development, right, we need to enhance and expand drainage systems to accommodate the kind of heavy rainfall and the kind of water logging that we are seeing, especially in Accra, right? Because most places in Accra are waterlogged. The lands are clay and stuff. And we actually have a video which is going to come up pretty soon on what to look out for when you're going to buy land and how to even detect that this land is waterlogged before you take any expert or engineer or anybody to test the soil. Right, we have a video coming up. And speaking of things that are coming up, there's something amazing that Doormaster is bringing that we can't wait for you to see.
My eyes have seen.
Tell us.
And then again, I'm sure they put in diaspora still. This is not new, but for me, it is new, right? I saw a door that I didn't have to do anything. Like it wasn't even my door. I was visiting somebody, saw the door. He goes to the door just magically opened. And he walked through, door closes. He didn't say anything. He was sending a delivery guy to the house. He gave the guy a code, door opens.
Wow. Wow, amazing. So Doormaster is coming up with something very amazing, and so stick and stay. Doormaster is our official security door partner. They are bringing some luxurious, highly secure doors. We'll be bringing you interviews. We'll be bringing you behind the scenes. We'll be bringing a lot of stuff. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to like, share, subscribe, so that you don't miss those videos. You'd be one of the first people to see that video. Now let's move to the next point to help us avoid these kinds of flooding that we're experiencing. So urban planning. We need to enforce regulations to prevent construction in flood-prone zones and ensure compliance with building codes, right? And zoning laws. Like Ghana, that is another thing that I see as really lacking. You can go to the municipal assembly, right, that you want a permit for your building project. And sometimes I wonder who actually gives these permits to the people who are building on the waterways, right? They have something they call rezoning. So maybe this place was intended for a commercial use or something, but they can do a rezoning so that you do it for residential. And there are filling stations built at places where they are not supposed to be built at, right? There have been filling stations that the government came and later had to shut down. The authorities had to shut down because these filling stations, when it rains, the water goes into the system and mixes with the fuel, and people complain. And I'm asking, how do you, who even gave the permit out in the first place?
So, with urban planning, I have a friend, right, who has fantastic masters. Like when I say he's been to school for urban planning, right? Now, his aim was to study urban planning just so he can come back to Ghana and come and help, right? Now, he has come back to Ghana. and he's not getting the opportunity to do what he wanted to do for Ghana. And it's here, right? These are the things that will help us prevent some of these things. But then the right people for the job are not giving the job. They always find temporary solutions to solve it, and then we have problems. So my brother has left. He has left the country.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he
That's
says
terrible.
he
So
has been trying his best, but
all right, so let's read some of the comments from our YouTube live section. Yao Chuk says torrential rain is an exaggeration, but I think you still get a point making that it can be dry today and tomorrow it rains.
yeah.
Now Priscilla says even our roads get flooded. Yes, I can understand. IND2ND says changing the mindset of Ghanaians is like pulling teeth. Charlie, this is wild though. But I think that is the first place that we need to start at. And that's why for us, we don't just want to limit this content to, if you want to build a house, consider 14mm iron rods and stuff like that. No, you will build a thing, but you go and build in waterways. You build a thing, a flood will come and break your house. You build a thing and you get electrocuted. You build a thing and a flood will occur. You can't even drive to your house. There was a time some years ago where a medical doctor, a woman who was married, it was one of these flood seasons. I sorry to bring this issue up. Like, she had closed from work. She was going home. She was carried away by the flood. Her husband was interviewed, and it was so heartbreaking. Like, I watched the interview and I cried. I cried a lot because he said he was talking to his wife and was telling her that, maybe she should park and all that. She felt, the thing wasn't so high and all that. And it was around the Labadi to Teshi side.
I know that stretch very
Yeah,
well.
that stretch. And it got flooded and her car was just taken away. You never saw her again. Right? So these things have real impact on people's lives and livelihood, and we need to be able to talk about that, and we want to use our platform to help to bring about some of these mindset changes and adjustments that we need as a people if we want to stand any chance of making it, developing this country the way this country needs to be developed. Right. So I don't know if Akosia Ginger has anything to say on this so far. Akosia, I would love to hear your thoughts on everything that has been said. And then after that, we'll come to Perfect Mouse. So Akosia, you can mute your mic if you want to share anything at this point in time. And then share your thoughts on what has been said so far as we get ready to wrap up in the next 3 minutes. Okay, so if Akosia is not ready, Perfect Mouse, do you have anything to say on this, on what has been said so far?
The opportunity, and it's a good work you are doing. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and then also the good work you guys are doing. My take on that's the agriculture sector that you mentioned earlier. Looking at it, the era in which we are going in now, I think we shouldn't be only looking at getting land for accommodation purposes, but also land for agriculture purposes. For poultry like this, you can get lands even in villages. When you go to America, they also have villages, and then all those areas they use some for farming, and also you see them doing farm stay. So they are living in the farm and have this poultry, goats, pen, and all those stuffs all around them. Meanwhile, in the city, they still have buildings over there. So they spend most of their time in the villages, on their farm, and then later go to the city to enjoy. So I think going forward, this should be something we should also put in place.
Really good points. Very, very good points. Highly appreciated. And I think you are right, because we are sitting on a potential food crisis in this country. And don't think that you are rich so you can afford to buy the food and let others suffer. No, if somebody is suffering, it will in the end also affect you. Now let's get ready to wrap up this video. So let's look at the last 2 points for fixing this public awareness like we are doing. We are educating, we are using our platform, we are allowing the community to also share their thoughts. so that let's share these kind of videos and let people watch it and let people see the damage that we are doing to our country. Let people see the risk that they are sitting on, and let people also understand that if they are purchasing lands, they need to do the right things, not build on waterways because those lands are sold for cheap. Let's all contribute as a community to fix the drainage if the government is not going to do anything about it. Let's also plant more trees. Let's stop cutting all the trees in favor of just building, 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 building. And this thing that the people in the diaspora keep talking about a lot, which is turning the country into a concrete jungle. Let's at least plant food crops and all those things. They tend to hold the soil, particles firmly and all that. And these things in the end are going to help us. Nowadays, if you are driving in Accra, you barely see any trees. Meanwhile, when you go to Europe and other places, like the whole place is literally a forest with houses inside.
I have some small joke or some. I remember somebody saying that those trees were synthetic. Whether true or not, I mean, it was just a joke, by the way.
Yeah. So, and then the last point that we have for those people who want to live by the coast and live by beachfront apartments and stuff, we need to consider sea defense projects. Now, if you are purchasing land, obviously you need to do a risk assessment of the history of the place. You need to do infrastructure evaluation. You need to ensure your land, your house, and all that. I think that's a topic that we will need to discuss in detail, probably get an insurance expert to come in. A lot of people don't do home insurance because they feel that, Charlie, it took me $100,000 to build my house. Why am I going to be paying, let's say, $10,000 every month to insure it when most houses are not going to experience fire, flood, or collapsing anyways, and people feel insurance has come. But imagine that you've paid $250,000 to build your house with your skylights and all these infinity pools and stuff. And God forbid an earthquake occurs and it collapses. And because of some $10,000 insurance you paid, you are able to get $250,000 back. I think it's worth it. So we need to consider all these things. And so with this, we want to say a very big thank you to everybody who joined the live interactive chat. Thank you to everybody who is on the live on YouTube. Thank you so much, Richard, for moderating the live. Thanks, Tina, for joining. Thanks, Eton, and please help us with the closing. And again, sing the national anthem wherever you are. Comment the full national anthem in the comment section, whether you're watching the live or replay. Eton, and please close us with your final
thoughts. Don't forget, Doormaster has something amazing coming for you guys. But then again, this is the Africa Building Hub. Thanks, Bibri.
Thanks, Bibri. Have a very blessed week, and see you same time next week.